In episode number 211, we cover October's Netflix releases.
And get ready for the next set of Pokemon anime. It is rivaling Pokemon Origins, and that is called Pokemon Generations.
Talking about new things coming out, we also have news on Marvel's Phase 4 in the MCU.
Our comic highlight this week is Trinity #1, the latest from DC Rebirth.
And I'm sure we'll throw in some funny stories somewhere as well. So all of this and much more on today's show. Hello and welcome to the Reasons I'm Broke podcast, bringing you the reasons we're broke, ranging from comics, movies, TV, video games, and more. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Daniel.
And for those of you joining us for the very first time, welcome. It's about time. You've missed a whole lot of hijinks, but there's a whole lot more to come.
Over 200 episodes for you to not catch up on.
Nope, you're fine. Just start right here. But the way we format the show is first we start out with some news. Again, this ranges from comics, movies, TV, video games, and more. And we follow up with a comic book highlight of the week.
Episode number 211 is releasing in October. Which is the month of Halloween.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Halloween.
And I do have a little short story that I want to share. And I'm hoping to do something at least with you and I to share something Halloween-based as we lead up to the 31st.
Awesome.
And I don't think I've ever talked about my high school film.
No, even I have never heard of this. And we've been together a pretty long time.
That's right. My high school film was a project that we did for one of the classes. I don't even remember what the criteria was, but we decided, why don't we do a horror story and base it in high school? And we'll film it. They gave us like 3 periods to film it all in. And
That's not a lot of time.
It's really not, but we weren't filmmakers. We're not fucking student filmers, and who gives a shit? We're filming in the hallway. We have like hall passes, so we get to walk around the hallway of the school. We get to go anywhere we want almost, except for outside the high school. So I ended up being the shortest of everyone in the 4 people. There's 2 girls and 1 guy. And me being the shortest, I'm the killer. I don't know why. I don't know how we came to that.
Okay.
But we had a little like regular hockey masks type of thing. It wasn't a hockey mask, but it was that type of style. Mm-hmm. And it had some red markings. And I think I had a Captain America t-shirt. Like that's just what I was wearing. And it has to remain consistent. So that's what we wore the whole time. And when I was the killer, I went off and I killed the first guy. And it's not too long. We're running around the hallway. And there's this like little knife that I was using and killing the other students in the movie. And the 2 girls get the upper hand on me and in the school hallway like stomp me to death. And they're like, "Oh man, that was close. I can't believe we got out of it." There's no script. We just like kind of like, this is what we're gonna do. Yeah. We wrote it ahead of time, but there's no lines. And they're like, "Okay, I'm glad we stopped him. That nightmare is over." And they walk off and the camera pans and follows them down the hallway. At that moment, I'm scrambling and getting up because when the camera pans back, I'm gone, except my shoe is left.
Okay.
So it's supposed to show that the killer is still alive, but he dropped his shoe as he was leaving.
Is he Cinderella now? He's just waiting for the girls to come back and find him.
Lost my slipper. And the next scene of this grand horror film takes place in the girls' bathroom. And we were in there filming, and
So wait, you got a pass to go in the girls' bathroom too?
We just went in there.
Oh, okay.
We filmed, the 4 of us went in there. And so this scene is the girls are like in front of the mirror, like talking, like, "Oh man, I can't believe we got out of that. I'm so glad you're okay. It's too bad we lost the other guy," whose name was also Dan, by the way. and they're talking, and the whole scene is supposed to be me jumping out of a stall with my knife up, and then the camera cuts right before I stabbed them, and then credits. That's what the scene is supposed to be.
So what does the scene become?
The scene becomes, they're still talking, and I'm standing on top of the toilet because you'd be able to see my feet otherwise. And I'm waiting for them to like get talking on a little bit and get to a certain line about how glad we're okay. But then the sensor goes off on the toilet, and it goes whoosh. And I'm like, "Oh shit!" And I didn't know what to do. And the girls both look over at the stall like, "What the hell?" Like a genuine response. And I'm like, "Fuck it!" And I jump out and do the thing. And then, as if I'm gonna go stab them, and that's the take we used. We're like, the guy that was filming, he's like, no, that was good. I don't know why the toilet went off. I'm like, and now I'm thinking the way you see it and you see the movie, I guess the killer was using the toilet and decided, let me kill these two I recognize those voices. Those are the two girls. And jumps out, wipes, I guess, I don't know, pulls his pants off, and then kills them. So
that's why he left his shoe, because he had to pee so bad. He's like, "Look, gotta go."
Except in that scene, my shoe's back on.
Oh, wow.
Because I wasn't going to be barefoot in the
disgusting.
bathroom. So that's my Halloween film. I don't have a copy of this. The school has it, I'm sure.
You need to get it back. I need to see this.
Cinder, I don't even know what I would name this now, but that's...
Cinderella. A Halloween story.
That was just the best, though, because when we were showcasing it to the class, the toilet runs, and their reaction's like, what the fuck? And then their actual scared reaction of like, oh shit, he's just gonna go through with it. I think they expected the scene to cut, like, oh, sorry, the toilet went through, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna go for it. And if we have to redo the scene, we redo it.
Well, I'm glad you did, because it sounded like it made for some great cinema.
Oh, we were cracking the fuck up.
Did you at least get an A on the project?
Oh, we got an A.
That was awesome.
I mean, that was some effort in that shit. I left a shoe. There's some cinematography there, some camera workings. And the kids did laugh. The students, they're like, why is there a shoe? Why is it a shoe? And I'm like, he's alive. That's just there to show the audience. Because his body being gone wasn't enough. It had to be a shoe that would sit there. So happy Halloween. That's very good. Cinderella. I'm going to make that the title of this episode.
Thank you. I usually come up with the titles for these episodes. Because I'm so funny.
And this episode, we're going to move into some Pokemon news. Mm-hmm. And then later on, as you mentioned, we do have quite a bit of Marvel news on that end because of their future movies, Phase 4. But we are going to kick it off with Pokemon XY, the latest evolution set that is releasing. We have talked about the cards in the past, but we haven't covered all of the sets as they've released. But we did talk about the 20th anniversary base set. Do you remember the reprintings that we talked about about a year ago? Mm-hmm. In Japan, they released them as a standalone set where you can get one copy of all of the cards for a certain price.
That's amazing.
And it came in a nice box and everything. In the US, they instead worked them into the new set called Evolutions. So if you want those cards, you got to get booster packs. They know how to get your money. And in this new set, it is amazing. This new set has a bunch of the base set cards. It's got base set Charizard in it. Mm-hmm. Yes, that Charizard that everyone claimed. It's worth $300. No,
that Justin took from you back in the 5th grade?
Yeah, the fucking Justin took. That you can get on eBay for $30. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I got it for $20 like 7 years ago just to refill my collection. And but it's still not the same Charizard. Justin still has my fucking Charizard. My Charizard. He
probably threw that shit away. He's probably Pokemon are lame and just threw it away.
It's got new reprintings for Venusaur and Blastoise. Mm-hmm. So it's not the exact artwork for the old ones. It's got some EXs. It's got that pissed off Pikachu EX from that box.
Yeah!
It's got that in it.
Love that guy.
It's also got a bunch of reverse holo energies, which are huge in the Pokemon community. Everyone likes to bling out their deck, wants to make their deck look as awesome as possible, including myself. All of my psychic energies are holos.
Can I make a reverse holo proxy energy? So like a piece of paper? So then when people are like, oh, is that a psychic? But it's a reverse holo psychic proxy.
Good luck making I don't know how you do that. Actually, you know what? You can get the gel pens that have the glitter in it.
I would.
And you can make that reverse holo.
Okay.
That would work.
Can I make all my cards proxies and just draw all of them?
You can. You can make all of them. Every single one.
All right. I'm going to do that.
Also, in this base set, you're going to have the new cards, which are going to have the new ones from Sun and Moon. So this is the first time you can get Pokemon from the new generations, and it's all in this set. So Evolutions, there's a lot going for it. There's even trainers that are all of the gyms. So you can get the badges for every single one of them, and that's awesome. A trainer card. And they're also holo, reverse holo. I think the card itself is like flip a coin if heads draw 3. I don't really remember, but it's cool. Collectible as shit. And when I saw this, I'm like, God damn. Like, these sets, we should probably get more for the store. I told my Pokemon players, hey guys, if you want this set, just a heads up, it does have the base set on it, so do expect people that normally don't collect these to suddenly come and start looking for them. So if you want to reserve any packs or booster boxes, let me know. Sure enough, people started reserving booster boxes.
Of course.
It's a good set. Mm-hmm. Including myself, I'm like, I need to reserve one of these booster boxes, because if I can get some of those classic cards and throw them in my collection, Everything else, I can give away to Pokemon players or use it as prize support. But that's also another awesome YouTube unboxing that you and I can do.
Yeah.
Because you do remember those old base set cards.
Hell yeah, I do.
So we can do like 6 booster packs this week, 6 the other week.
How many come in a box?
36 booster packs.
Okay. Why can't we just do them all at once?
I guess we can do them all. Do a half-hour video.
Yeah, why not? Well, I mean, you could split it up into a few videos.
That's true.
I'm not going to let it just sit in our house for a few weeks.
Just monetize every single one.
Yeah, because if it just sits in my house for weeks, you're going to come in and just find, like, wrappers everywhere. Like, Callie, what have you done? And I'm just crying in the pile. Like, I can't help myself.
What do you hope to get from that base
Pikachu?
set? Which was your... Well, there's no base set Pikachu that I remember being printed, but except that promo one that we were talking about.
Is there Electabuzz?
There's no Electabuzz.
Damn it, then I don't want... What? Fuck.
I think there's a Gyarados, though.
Okay, I went to Gyarados.
There's also Clefairy from back in the day. There's Mewtwo.
Nope. I remember I traded my Clefairy for, like, a lame-ass something. Because somebody's like, this is better. And I'm like, okay. And I traded. They're like, no, trade backs. And they're like, mine's really better. I'm like, fuck you.
They always got you with those.
Yeah, they did. Damn it. I do have a great Pokemon story from my week, though.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember this. So, my coworkers have just discovered that I am a nerd. They didn't know this. But, like, one of them was talking about, like, Pokemon one day. I'm like, oh, yeah, Pokemans? And they're like, it's Pokemon. Get it right. I bet you've never even played a game. I'm like, whoa, let's slow down, guys.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Gotcha, fool.
Now you see why I troll.
Listen. Anyway, so then I was talking to one of them one day about our awesome cosplay idea where you would go as the new Aquaman to convention, and then I could go as Khaleesi, because, you see what I did there?
Mm-hmm.
And then if we ever had a kid, we could dress it up as a dragon. And so I'm talking to him and telling him the story, and I'm like, it'll be great. And then I was thinking I could dress my kid up as a Dragonite, and one of them goes, oh yeah, or a Charizard. And I stared at him. And I said, really? My child's a dragon. Yeah, Charizard. Charizard's a flying fire. And he's like, what? And I was like, boom!
Boom!
It was playing like that, stupid ass bitch, I ain't fucking with you. As I was walking away. Okay, but then it gets better, because this other girl, I don't even fucking know her. Like, I've talked to her twice. And she walks up, and she's like, what's everybody going on about? I'm like, I was talking about, and I was just deadpan with her. Like, don't even know her. Don't know anything about her. And I go, we were just talking about dressing my kid up as a dragon, and he told me to dress him up as a Charizard. And she turns to me, she goes, Charizard's a flying fire. Like, deadpan too. And I was like, boom! Twice. Like, two people you would never expect. And here we are. And he was like, well, who's the best Damien? Or who's the best Robin? I was like, well, Damien, of course. He's like, I know. I'm like, okay.
They still wanted to test you, even after they were taken to school.
Yep.
He wanted to try to redeem himself. He doubled down, and he fucking lost again.
And then he goes, well, have you read Hush? Yeah, I have.
Oh, the one where Batman fights Superman and Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn?
Yeah, it's in my house. It's great. And it's like, well, I heard the Killing Joke movie wasn't that good. I was like, no, actually, it was really good.
That's what a weird transition that conversation took. Like, suddenly he's looking for your opinion
yeah.
on things.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's funny because, like, nobody ever expects that from me. And then I call it Pokemans on purpose because then they don't expect that. Mm-hmm. And then I'm just like, out of left field, I think you know Pokemans? No, you don't.
The same's got to happen when the DC movies come out.
Oh,
when
yeah.
they start talking about it and you're like, well, in the comics, this happens.
Well, it happened when Suicide Squad came out. And suddenly everybody was a Harley Quinn fan. And I was like, no, I've liked her character for forever.
You became one of those?
But I have. Have I not liked her for forever?
Well, sure, but the level of enjoyment, who gives a shit? Like, the level of enjoyment on everyone, unless they're claiming something, like they're trying to be the gatekeepers, and then you can up them, that's fine. But if let them all be Harley fans, who gives a shit?
Well, they can all be Harley fans. But I've liked her for forever.
You're that person that I rung up that was buying a bunch of Harley back issues and claimed, like, I've liked her since the animated series. I don't know where all these Harley fans are coming from.
Okay, except for the part that all those back issues, I bought them back a long time ago when I was still a Harley fan.
Yeah, but it's still not a bad thing. You're not a better Harley fan because you've liked her from the beginning.
Yes, I am.
I'm not a better Harley fan either. I'm not a Batman the Animated Series. I'm not the greatest Batman the Animated Series fan because I have a tattoo. It's just everyone's going to enjoy it at different levels.
Can we say I'm a better Pokemon fan than that other guy?
Absolutely.
Okay, as long as I can have something.
And continuing on Pokemon, we mentioned Pokemon Generations.
Yes. So this is amazing. It's its newer take on the anime, but they're shorter. So they're 3 to 4 minutes. You can watch it real quick on your phone. And it pulls elements from so many different things. So you have a lot of elements from the game, some from the older anime that I can see and pull from, but it's awesome because each one follows a different character, and then you feel so much for them. Like Giovanni, I want to see him succeed.
Generations, what they're doing is they're taking highlights from all of the previous games and they're animating them into 3 to 4 minute episodes. So none of this is chronological. You're not going to get like an Origins where you get a complete story through 4 episodes. They're just, each one is a standalone highlight. Hey, do you remember Black and White when this happened? Here's the animated version and how that looked. Do you remember Blue when he took over as the champion on the Elite Four? Well, we never saw that happen because it was a surprise. Well, here it is. You get to see him defeat the Elite Four.
It wasn't a surprise. It was hell. It was almost death. I was like, oh, fuck. I finally beat all these guys. Fuck you, rival. Fuck you. And he's like, you gotta beat me now. Oh, man. I still get anxiety when I hear that song.
That was the worst when Lance says, you're the Pokemon champion. Or at least you would be. Well, what the fuck? You're like 10-year-old you is like, well, hold on a second.
Well, and 10-year-old me didn't know how to play Pokemon and didn't know how to play well enough to level up my Pokemon where they needed to be before I fought the Elite Four. So I made it through that bitch on, like, max revives. I just sold all my money and just bought max revives. So my Pokemon were down to like 2 HP when this mofo walks up, and I'm like, well, that's it.
Everyone lost the first time.
Of course they did.
Everyone did.
But I was like a super asshole because I used to save it right before I went in, and then if I lost, I'd turn it off. I'm like, I can't lose my money.
They take half your money.
Yeah, they do.
They got insane.
And then I realized like I never spent all my money anyway. Except one time I tried to save up to buy the bike.
Never worked. Always $1 away. I know.
I wanted to buy that bike, though. It was going to be my bike.
If you do want to check out Pokemon Generations, it is up on YouTube through Pokemon's channel. But staying on episodes and moving on to the television side, we've got what's new on Netflix, our highlights for October 2016.
This is always my favorite thing of the month because I never know what's coming out on Netflix. And then I see these and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta watch that. And then I never watch it. And then like next time you're like, what's new leaving Netflix? I'm like, oh, well, then I'll watch that. But we do have some great stuff. First up is Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yeah, we saw that for the first time last year, maybe 2 years ago. Awesome film. Who is it? Aubrey Hepburn is in that. Very good. Also, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Another one that I finally saw for the first time.
Never saw it.
I think by the time I was going to show it to you, it had gone off of Hulu and Netflix, but it is coming back.
Cool. We also have Pooh's Adventure, The Search for Christopher Robin.
That came out in 97. Did you see that?
I did. It was not very good.
So what's going on? Is that after the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh when he leaves for school or whatever?
Yes. So it's many, many, many years after the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh. And then there was the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh TV show. And it was after that. So they saw how well the TV show did. At least I think it did well. I don't know. I was a fucking kid. It was my favorite show. And they were like, oh shit, we can make money off this. Let's make a video about, or a movie about them trying to go find Christopher Robin. So all that happens is Christopher Robin goes to school and gets busy, so he doesn't come to the 100 Acre Wood a lot. And they're like, well, we need to go find him. And then they go on this big adventure. And all I remember is them walking through a rock that's shaped like a skull. That's the only thing I remember from that whole movie.
So you, as a Winnie the Pooh fan...
Not good.
So we should pass on this.
Yeah.
So that's our pass of the week for pass of the month for what's new on Netflix.
Just stick with either the original movie, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, or the cartoon. The cartoon had some highlights in there. I remember a lot of those episodes. I
thought the newer Winnie the Pooh movie was pretty good. The one that they hand animated again. It was kind of forgettable.
That one was good. No. I do remember that one. That one was good. The Heffalump movie was not good. The Tigger movie was not good. There was another random thing in there, not good. Because I didn't see that one either. But the older one and the newer one, yes. I give my pass.
The Piglet movie. That's the other one that was missing.
That was lame. No. Why isn't there a Rabbit movie?
Maybe someday. I love Rabbit.
Maybe a Gopher
Rabbit's one of my
movie?
favorites.
Did you know Gopher originated from the cartoon?
Yep.
He was not in the books. I do have all those books too. My mom used to read them to me. I love Winnie the Pooh.
Continuing on the list, The Queen of the Damned. This is the sequel to Interview with the Vampire. It's not good, but it's It's got a good soundtrack. I know we were talking about Suicide Squad and how awesome that soundtrack was. It was also the last movie that Aaliyah was in. Probably the last project she actually worked on, even including any music videos. So that was the big thing on that. They couldn't get Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt to return, so they recast. They kind of had that whole thing going. Where Lestat, did you see an Interview with the Vampire?
I saw some of it. So at the time it came out, my best friend was like really, really into it, and it was one of her favorite movies. And I think I saw the last half of it. I didn't see all of it.
I like that movie. I like Interview with the Vampire.
It's something that we need to watch. Now that it's on there, yes, might as well watch it.
I don't know if Interview is on there, but Queen of the shitty sequel is.
Interview. Oh, you were asking if I saw Interview or Queen of the Damned?
Interview with the Vampire.
Oh no, I saw Interview. I haven't seen Queen of the Damned.
Okay, it starts off with Lestat. He's asleep. He's just decided, you know what? I'm going to go to sleep for many years and try to escape this place that tried to kill me. In this time period, I almost died several times. I'm going to fall asleep and wake up at a different time period. And he hears rock and roll. Yeah, no.
Okay.
He hears rock and roll and he's like, something throughout the ages awoke me. It's this noise, this sound. And heavy metal woke him up and he decided, I'm going to be a rock star now. And that's how the book goes too.
Oh.
So he just starts his own band, becomes a rock star.
Okay.
Egyptian demons and gods wake up as well at around the same time. And
because of rock music.
I think it's all coincidental.
Okay.
Like, we'll watch it. It's not a good movie.
We'll watch it.
Also, Titanic, that massive fucking film, in case you haven't seen it, in case you're under 15 and you've never seen Titanic.
Can I tell you how guilty I felt for watching that movie? I felt so guilty because, like, I wasn't supposed to see it because I was in 6th grade or something and there was, like, boobs. And then my friend had it on VHS and she's like, let's just watch this. My parents aren't home. And I'm like, okay. So we watched it. And then every time that song would play, like we'd be out someplace, I'd freeze. Like, do my parents know? Are they going to look at me? Like, why are you reacting that way to that song? Like, I freaked out.
Super paranoid?
Yeah, super paranoid. Of course they never knew that I watched it. We also saw part of it in 6th grade. Did I ever tell you this story?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh my God. So we watched part of it in 6th grade. And the teacher, and she's one of my favorite teachers ever, but she did not think before she did anything. So she was showing us the part in the beginning where they go down and you see the Titanic and they bring up the thing and they open it up and they find the jewel inside or I don't know. They find the picture inside. That's what it is. So she had this blanket and she was going to cover the screen right when the nipples popped up. Of course she didn't. She missed it completely. And then all the boys in class were like, whoa, nipples. And like, that's all we talked about. And then the moms found out and then the teachers got in trouble.
I think that was one of the first times I ever saw boobs. Like,
really?
I think that was it. I can't remember any other time before that I saw real boobs. Like, even I saw Ghosts before I saw Titanic, and I don't remember there being. Maybe there was some nudity in that. I don't know. Maybe that was the time, but Titanic was definitely a memorable. Like, that was the boob movie.
Well, yeah, that was when all boys saw their first boobs back then.
All thanks to Kate Winslet.
Yep.
Titanic is still, I think it still stands as a pretty good movie technologically as well.
And if you put that CGI song to Harry Potter, it's great.
And it came out on double VHS. You mentioned VHS earlier. It wasn't just one.
Double.
Kids, sometimes, anyone that has never had a VHS, Titanic was so long, they had to put that bitch on 2 tapes. And it came like that, packed in like a super tape, and everyone had that. Everyone owned Titanic. So everyone
I never owned Titanic. Not everyone.
And sometimes some of the compilations had like 5 VHSs, like the GoldenEye or the James Bond collections.
You know what I did own that had double VHS? Don't make fun of me.
I won't.
You're not even going to have ever heard of this. Anne of Green Gables.
I've never heard of that.
Oh my God. Those are my favorite movies. I love them. It was based off a book series of a redhead who gets adopted by these old people. And then she falls in love with this kid named Gilbert. Oh my God. Now I just got to watch them, but I only have them on VHS.
Was it double VHS because it was that long?
Yeah. Well, the first one was a single VHS. And then every movie after that, there were like 5 movies from double VHSs.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It was great.
After Titanic, we've got the DC television shows. So to any of you out there that don't have Hulu or are not keeping up using the website CW, they have The Flash Season 2 is heading on there.
Good. iZombie Season 2, finally.
Arrow Season 4.
Nah. And DC's Legends of Crapmaro Season 1.
you always come up with a new name for these?
I do. I can make up new names for anything.
Arrow.
Crapro.
iZombie.
I like iZombie.
Constantine.
I like Constantine. The TV show, hashtag save Constantine.
How about, okay, fine. How about the movie, Constantine?
Oh, no. Shitstantine.
I thought you were going to say constant crap.
Or you could say constant shit, or, I mean, there's a lot of different names you can come up with.
So catch up with the DC television universe on Netflix starting next month, or this month now that the episode's released. And throughout the month, we are going to have the different shows and movies get updated. These are just the highlights, but if you want to see a full list, just Google What's New on Netflix, October 2016.
We also have a new show that is coming to Amazon Studios. So following the debut of the Tix pilot, I think we talked about that, 2 weeks ago?
Because you had seen it, I still haven't seen it.
So Amazon Studios has ordered the show for a full season, premiering in 2017.
So what do you think? Is that good? You saw the episode.
Mm-hmm. I think it'll be good. I think, obviously when I saw it, it had a lot of 5 stars from, I think it was over 10,000 or, something like that had seen it and rated it. And I even asked my dad, I'm like, Dad, are you going to rate this? He's like, no. Okay, but do you want to see it as a show? Yeah. Well, then rate it. Anyway, whatever. So I think from what I've known of the character, it does stick very true to that. And so I think fans will be pleased. And the pilot ended on a cliffhanger, and I really want to know what happens.
So more Tick next year. We're now going to move on to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Mm-hmm. We normally don't cover too much Marvel, but there was quite a bit that came out that we do need to cover.
Because Marvel is lame.
There's some good stuff in Marvel. And one of the villains that premiered in my favorite Marvel movie is the Red Skull. And Red Skull may not be done with the Marvel films.
So this is pretty interesting. Actor Hugo Weaving, again, who played Red Skull, has never been shy about his difficulties with playing the Red Skull.
So here's the setup. In an interview back in 2012, Weaving said, quote, I signed a multi-picture deal for Captain America. I think the tendency with those films would be to probably not bring a villain back. They might for the Avengers, but I didn't think I'd be in Captain America 2 or 3. I don't think the Red Skull will be there, and it's not something I would want to do again. End quote.
Okay.
This was 4 years ago.
4 years ago. So he's saying, I did it. It was fine. Don't really want to do it. It was too hard. I'm a little baby.
Billions of dollars later, cut to 2016.
Billions of dollars later. In a recent interview with Yahoo, Weaving had this to say, and it's a very different tune. It was fun to play.
Ka-ching, ka-ching.
0 zeros. Quote, it was fun to play. I enjoyed the outrageousness of the German accent that I employed, and I enjoyed the extraordinary mask and costume, even though it was unbelievably hot inside it. With Marvel, it's pretty basic stuff. Accept the deal and enjoy the ride. It's not a major stretch for an actor, but on the other hand, the difficulty with the Marvel Universe is maintaining a link to a human dimension within such an extraordinary technological CGI universe. In terms of me going back and doing another one, I don't know. I'm not sure what they're up to with the Red Skull.
Seems like he's much more open to playing the Red Skull this time around.
So here's what I read from that quote. I would do another one, even though it was really fucking hot and I had to do this crazy accent and do all these wacko things. But, whatever they do, you just accept it and go with the ride.
And it doesn't challenge me as an actor because it's just me as a villain. But you know what? The CGI is kind of cool, and it was interesting to work in front of a green screen. Can you just pay me? Is what he's saying.
Can you just give me money, please?
I haven't made a movie that has made Marvel money in the last 5 years. So, yeah, I'll fucking do it.
Okay, whatever. Yep.
Hopefully, if he does, I want to see the Red Skull come back, because I love Captain America: The First Avenger. That is my favorite of the Marvel movies. If he shows up in the Infinity War, awesome. Let's get several villains in there, because if you don't have just the Avengers, if you've got the Guardians of the Galaxy in there as well, and Spider-Man, you're not just going to have Thanos. You're probably going to have Loki make an appearance, and you should have the Red Skull show up as well.
Can I pick a Spider-Man villain to show up? Who's the silliest Spider-Man villain? Sandman? From
Sandman's
the third
silly,
movie.
No.
From the third movie.
Sandman's pretty cool.
The
original script for the third movie had just Sandman and Lizard, and that they didn't explore enough of Sandman because of Venom, because they wanted to shoehorn Venom in there because the fans wanted Venom. Don't listen to the fans.
Okay, fine then. Who's a silly character?
I'm not huge on my Spider-Man villains.
That guy who shot Uncle Ben.
I was going to say Tarantula.
I don't even know what that is.
He's a Hispanic villain that turns out, he started off as a villain, and then he eventually merged over to one of Spider-Man's allies. He's got a big mustache, and he's got which you can see under his mask. I thought he was kind of silly.
Okay, that does sound silly. Did I ever tell you? I know, I told you about my Spider-Man movie that I wanted to make.
I don't think so.
Oh, man, no, I've definitely told you about this. It's a story, I mean, it can be Spider-Woman, whatever, where the powers that they get is they can communicate with spiders. And so all the spiders are flocking to them. But here's the twist. They have arachnophobia.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me.
Oh, man, mind blown. That would be so cool. So then they have to learn to come to grips with their fears and use these spiders for good.
Does it have anything to do with... Is it a reimagining of Spider-Man?
Sure.
Or is it just something that just happens to have the same title?
Maybe. I don't know.
Is it Spider-Man?
Listen,
or is it just together?
I can't give away all my secrets. Somebody on the show might steal it because it's such a great job.
You're like, it depends on what the studios will say. If they support me, it's definitely a reimagining.
Nobody's supporting that. I mean, it might make for a funny comic or a funny fan fiction or a bad fan fiction. I'm very good at those too. But this main character and the love interest have to make out till they can't breathe anymore.
Because that's bad fan fiction.
Because that's bad fan fiction.
So leading up to the end of Phase 3 for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the next 4 movies are Doctor Strange on November 4th, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which is on May 5th of next year, Spider-Man Homecoming, July 7th, 2017, and Thor Ragnarok also next year on November 3rd.
Since Marvel's film plans were put together over 2 years ago, there have been a few changes. First off, Inhumans has since been pulled, while Spider-Man Homecoming and Ant-Man and the Wasp have been added. You're going to love that movie. You love wasps.
Oh, I adore wasps.
Yeah, they're your favorite.
There were going to be some changes with Spider-Man Homecoming, and let's pretend in some fantasy universe that they acquired the Fantastic Four again. There's going to be even more changes to the phases and the plans and the movies. There's always going to be shuffling, and even from the beginning, I think they said that this isn't a solid schedule. They ended up dropping Inhumans, which made me laugh because all the speculators that were trying to pick up Inhuman early appearances, like, oh, no, never mind.
JK!
But other than that, the Inhumans, I think that was their answer to try to fill in that gap that the X-Men kind of left or fills in on the mutant universe without actually calling them mutants. They have appeared in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. from what I understand, so they've sort of already been introduced, but nothing huge as far as a movie anymore. The final film in Phase 3 will be ended with another Avengers film in 2019.
At a recent conference, Disney CEO Bob Iger had this to say about the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Quote, "We had a similar meeting with Marvel a week and a half ago to plot those films out, where we've got the movies in either development or production, some nearing completion, through the end of this decade. There we too are beginning to talk about what we do in the next decade, and so on." So this leads us to question, what do we expect from Marvel Cinematic Universe in 2020 or even 2030?
This delighted me. Not because I love all of the Marvel movies. I do like some of them, and we've enjoyed a lot of them too. Mm-hmm. Guardians of the Galaxy, I think, was probably... Oh no, Civil War was the one that we did enjoy, and then before that it was Guardians of the Galaxy. But this also means that Disney is backing and investing heavily in another decade of comic book movies, which is great, because us as DC fans, we want to see more from that world. If the Marvel Universe, the Cinematic Universe, were to suddenly go away and these movies stop making money, you bet we're not going to see a Justice League 2 or Justice League 3 unless, those continue making money, which wouldn't make sense. People kind of are going to see both. This tells me that Disney, in their infinite wisdom, and they do have it, they've got tons of research. They are geniuses at making fucking money. If they say we can get another 10 years out of the comic book universe and out of comic book fans out there, that is a good thing. I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy with Disney for investing in that. I'm happy for Marvel fans that they're going to get another 10 years. More importantly, I'm happy that we're going to get more comic book movies in the future, at least until, in my 40s. We're going to still be seeing comic book movies. That is a good thing. And I think everyone wins with this news.
I definitely agree. Like you said, the fact that they're talking about 2020 or 2030, yeah, that means that they see longevity in this, and they're saying, okay, let's go, let's get it planned, let's keep this going. And exactly like you said, WB's going to hop on that too, and they're going to keep these DC movies going. And that's exactly what I want. Like, Marvel, but DC.
Let's speculate on what we think we'll see in 2020 and 2030.
Okay.
Now, here's the big question. Will Fantastic Four or X-Men, either one of those, become a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the next decade after Phase 3?
I would say yes to X-Men. I would not say yes to Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four would need another film in that decade if they haven't given up the rights yet or done some kind of partnership deal with Disney for them to retain the rights to the Fantastic Four, which they will do, especially if comic book movies are still hot. Now, we did talk about how Fox and Disney were starting to play nice with each other. Disney has allowed for the X-Men to have a television show, and in return, what we speculated was that they would get the Fantastic Four. Instead, it has turned into advertisement space, that they will give Disney some advertisement revenue based on the shows and how much that makes. It's fine, it's smart, it was a money deal. It wasn't as huge as people were speculating. But because they are playing nice, if we do see some kind of X-Men reboot or some kind of interdimensional partnership, I don't know, they can't exist in the same universe because there's so much difference in how those two have worked in the X-Men universe and the regular Marvel MCU. But do you see them doing some kind of crossover, maybe with Deadpool, maybe with a new Wolverine since Hugh Jackman is getting ready to end it?
Definitely. I could see that 100%. The reason I say no to them using the Fantastic Four again, I really feel like the last two movies they've had haven't been that great. And so if you're going to reboot it again, you better make sure it's really, like, it's such a risk right there. You better make sure it's good because, man, if you give people a third bad Fantastic Four movie, like, forget about it.
People are already saying, like, give it to Disney, give it to Marvel, let them do the Fantastic Four. And my whole thing is just, I don't care who does it. Just do it right. Mm-hmm. Get Dougie Jones back on there as the Silver Surfer. He was great.
He was awesome.
He was probably the best part of those films.
Do a Silver Surfer movie with Dawn. Oh, man, I love that.
I would love to see that. Written by Dan Slott.
Yep, it'd be great. You know what kind of Wolverine I could see making a crossover? Lady Wolverine.
X-23.
Yep.
There are huge rumors that X-23 will make an appearance in the new Wolverine film. We're set to get a trailer for that within the next 6 months, at least the teaser. And maybe we'll see X-23 there. Maybe that's the one that's going to take over the mantle as Wolverine moving forward. We don't know. Maybe they'll go with a whole recast, but Hugh Jackman is nearing his end of the role.
I could definitely see X-23, especially if it gets back into Disney's hands in particular. I feel like they're making a pretty strong push for female characters that girls can look up to that aren't princesses. They've had the market on princesses for forever, but especially with the popularity of Rey from Star Wars, they're definitely making a push in that other direction of, okay, here's strong female characters that girls can like too, and they're marketing that more. So I could definitely see them pulling in X-23. I would love to see a Miles Morales movie.
I think we're going to get it. I think eventually we're going to see that happen.
I hope so.
But they're going to focus on getting Peter Parker right, establishing that universe, and hopefully we'll see some kind of cameo, maybe even in Spider-Man Homecoming. Like, one of his classmates is named Miles. Any little tiny thing to make us happy would be fucking fantastic.
You know what would suck? If they did stupid Civil War II with Ulysses and just, what's his name? I hate him. You know, I hope he predicts his own death. I hope he predicts, oh man, I just predicted that I'm going to kill people, and they can just kill him.
Put him under fucking arrest.
Yeah, that's fine.
What's going to end up happening, this is all Civil War II, the comic book news now, is he's going to end up predicting either Iron Man or Carol Danvers next as, like, the next one's to kill someone or something, and it's like, well, am I going to arrest myself? I don't know. If they did that with Carol, that'd be pretty huge. Because would she then put herself under... I mean, she would have to if she believes in this cause so much, to the point where they're fucking spoilers. I mean, people know about this already, but murdering the Hulk.
As long as he dies, I don't care. That's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, fuck Ulysses.
I hate him more than I hate comic book Constantine.
That's pretty big.
That's pretty big, because I hate comic book Constantine.
Do you hate Ulysses more than the Creeper?
Yes.
Wow, that is huge.
Yes.
That is massive.
But I do not hate him more than Talia.
That's uncalled for. Talia gave us Damian. And gives Batman so much love.
No. And she also gives Batman so much heartache and trouble.
Do you like Ra's al Ghul?
Who is the reason that Damian's dead?
Talia, Batman,
yes. No, Talia.
Damian's clone, Ra's.
Talia.
Several.
Talia.
Several people at fault.
Talia. She should have just, like, spit out Damian and said, here you go, peace. See ya. And
so Talia's your number one.
I hate
And
Talia.
then right underneath Ulysses. The lady that's connected to Ra's al Ghul, one of the best villains in the comic book universe. You're like, no.
Yep, hate her.
We'll get to Talia later.
Nope.
We are going to get to Talia. We're now going to shift on over real quick to the DC Cinematic Universe news that we did get this week. Not much, but it is pretty important. John Manganiello, who we know is playing Deathstroke in the live-action something movie, either Justice League and or the Batman film, recently tweeted #research along with a picture of Batman Earth 1 and a variety of Deathstroke figurines, including ones from Funko Pop, Arkham Origins, and the New 52.
Good for him. If I were playing a character, I would ask for all the merchandise too. Oh, I am this character now. I need all the things, please. Thank you.
Research. If anything, I can sign these things and just sell them when I'm 60, 70.
Yeah, when I'm about to die, I'm just gonna sell them. Be like, oh, I'm on my deathbed. Buy these. Fake my own death and then sell them from another eBay account. Yes!
There you go. It's interesting to note that Batman Earth 1 was in that pile, because that was also written by Geoff Johns, who is also writing the upcoming Batman movie along with Ben Affleck. The only thing is, Batman Earth 1 does not contain a single thing of Deathstroke. So people started speculating. What could this be? Is it that Geoff Johns is adapting a portion of Batman Earth 1 into the script? Is it so that he understands what Geoff Johns' Batman would be? Are they going to already change what Batman is, since they've already established that he's like a darker Dark Knight Returns type of version of the character?
I think Geoff Johns just made this care package and went, wrote this, pretty good. Read my shit.
You should read that too.
Yeah, it's great.
I don't know.
While you're at it.
You wrote this. Oh, did I? I didn't even notice.
I thought it was good. I read it once and I was like, oh, this is some great stuff. I thought you might like it. But
you just write so many things over the years that you just lose track of. I was just trying to give you good stories, and I know that one was really good.
Yeah.
There's a volume 2 out.
I sent that too. You'll get it in a few days.
So do you think that has anything, do you think that's what it is? It's just Geoff Johns, I wrote this and threw it in there too?
Yeah, probably.
Because Geoff Johns himself sent him this package.
Look, whatever. I think it's to show him the feeling that Deathstroke wants for this, or Geoff Johns wants for this movie, his style of writing, what his idea of Batman and great, and I mean, again, it's a great story, so great storytelling. There you go.
Some people have speculated hardcore because Penguin is the main villain in Earth 1. They're like, maybe the Penguin is the villain in Batman, and he hires Deathstroke to go after Batman. Like, you guys, that is outlandish. That's not going to happen.
You are ridiculous.
It's going to be the fucking Red Hood. I'm going to keep saying that until that fucking movie comes out. I won't believe that it's not going to be Red Hood.
You need to stop saying stuff like that, because it's going to happen like it happened with the last Batman
Arkham
video
Knight?
game. Yeah, where you're like, it's probably just Robin. And then it was Robin. You're like, oh shit, I gotta stop saying that.
It could happen. I don't know. You could tell a really good fucking story with that.
Mm-hmm.
And you can still input Deathstroke. Like, he still fits in that story.
Well, we will see someday.
This is the fun part of the DC. Like, anytime any of these comic book movies come out, where you just speculate and think and later on see how wrong you were when the movie finally comes out.
You look back and you're like, oh, I didn't say any of that. Except you record all the things I say and pull them up for me and show me.
And then anything we get right, we're like, yeah, did you see? We called it.
We called it.
You.
We knew.
Everything else, forget about it.
I call everything. What was that big thing that I called and I was so excited?
I don't even remember.
It was something. It was something big. Greatest moment of my life.
We had mentioned Talia's returning.
What? Who?
We've also got the return of the Batman Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yes!
Brokettes have decided.
No.
We are going to follow the woman.
You Brokettes have failed me!
If you are confused and this is your first episode, go back to last week's episode where we started the Batman Choose Your Own Adventure. That's episode number 210. And we are letting Brokettes decide, let them choose where Batman will go, what he will do.
Listen, Batman had everything he needed right there in front of him. Catwoman and Catwoman. Why would you have him follow another woman?
Let's find out. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Do you want to read the page? There's only one page this time, Brokettes, before we get to the decision.
You can read it. I'll just mess up the words. I mean, yeah, let me read it.
You're going to change the dialogue.
No.
You're going to change the dialogue. Do you want to play Talia?
Yes, I do. Are we on the right page? Okay. Ra's al Ghul.
Now you're trolling me. That's not, you don't do that.
Yeah, now you know what it feels like.
You're confusing the Brokettes.
Listen, now you know what it feels like when you troll people and you call Kingdom Hearts by that wrong name.
Or NBA Y2K?
Yes.
Or Game of Thorns?
Yes. All of that. Now you know
but
how
those
to
are
feel.
fun. This is not fun.
No, well, I'm just going to call it Ra's al Ghul.
Don't call it that.
Don't call Kingdom of Hearts by the wrong name.
I promise I won't today. Go ahead.
Today.
Keep going. Start. Burkett's are waiting for the story.
Ra's al Ghul once offered the Dark Knight a place in the Society of Shadows as his successor, but Batman refused.
I am nothing like your father. His vision is to destroy the human population.
Bruce exclaims. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Bye.
That's not what happened. Read the lines.
It is a small price to pay.
You had it. That's Talia's voice, basically.
I sound Russian. It is a small price to pay for the perfect planet, shrugs the daughter of the demon. Talia places the relic in her purse. Goodbye, she says, blowing Bruce a kiss.
Ooh.
No, it's gross. Until we meet again. Talia starts for the exit, but Bruce blocks her path.
This ends here, Talia.
He says. Eee!
That's supposed to be people screaming, so anyone confused as to what that was.
I can do a better scream. Is that better?
That's a Hispanic screaming?
That's what it says.
It's true. Maybe it was. I mean,
can you do a better scream? Maybe it's a man. It's a little dramatic, Jan.
I'm not an actor.
Suddenly, the sound of breaking glass and screams comes echoing from the main hall. Actually, it's only begun, Talia replies.
Here are the choices, Brocats. Already there. We'll continue next week based on what you choose and what you tweet us or tell us on Facebook. You can find the link at thereasonsimbroke.com, to our Twitter, to our Facebook. Twitter is at reasonsimbroke. Facebook.com/thereasonsimbroke. Kelly, give them their choices.
So choice number 1 is Bruce stops Talia from stealing the artifact and throws her in jail forever and never talks to her again. That's page 21.
Now, what's it actually say? We don't know.
Bruce stops Talia from stealing the artifact.
Okay, that's choice 1.
Choice 2 is Bruce rushes towards the screams.
So does he continue going after his beloved, or does he go to save his beloved Gotham?
Who's his beloved? I didn't see Catwoman on this page.
You can lump her in with beloved Gotham in there. That's fine.
No. But like the first one, stopping his beloved Catwoman.
Yeah, Talia. Talia's his beloved.
No, she's not.
He's called her beloved before.
No, I don't know what you're talking
Happened
about.
in the animated series.
Listen, don't know what you're talking about.
It counts.
Listen, I will fight you.
Let us know, Burkett's. Choice 1, continue to stop Talia. Choice 2, rush towards the screams.
So that was our Choose Your Own Adventure for this week. Very short, but we still have a long way to go on this awesome journey to find Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul.
Who?
Ra's al Ghul.
What?
Don't you hate it when people call it Raz?
You know what I hate? When people call it not Kingdom Hearts. And they call it the other name.
It's not even funny when you call it Raz.
Okay, it's not even funny when you call it the other thing.
It's funny.
It's not
it's
funny.
Very funny.
It's hilarious when I call it Raz.
It's not.
What if I call him?
You're absolutely
wrong.
wrong.
What if I call him Raoul al Ghul?
That's bad. You can call him Raoul al Ghul.
No, I'm gonna call him Ra's al Ghul.
You're like, that one doesn't bother you.
Nope. I'm
Ra's al Ghul. We're getting closer to Ra's, and I'm really happy about that.
Listen, I want you to understand something. I have tried for years to find a name that bothers you so much as not Kingdom Hearts bothers me. And I found it.
At work, anytime like a coworker's talking about Ra's, like, and sometimes they'll say Raz, and as I'm walking by doing something completely different, I go Ra's, and they're like, oh right, Ra's al Ghul, and they'll self-correct themselves because they know it's Ra's, and I've explained to them why it's Ra's al Ghul. You can go back to Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams. Ra's al Ghul.
Raz, no.
You never once said that.
I'm pretty sure that's in the animated
Kevin
series.
Conroy has never pronounced it wrong.
I'm pretty sure.
Batman himself has always called it Ra's al Ghul. So if you're not going to buy it from the creators, you can buy it from the character himself.
Okay, so what's the real name of Kingdom Hearts?
What you just called it. But I troll people by saying Kingdom of Hearts.
Okay, so I'm going to troll you by saying Raz.
I'm going to read from that one. I'm going to read these pages.
No, I'm going to read all of them. I have decided. Broquettes, that is also something for you to decide. Go to @PalpaKelly, say Daniel yes or Kelly yes. And it better be Kelly yes.
Next we have our Patreon shoutouts of the week. Topping off the month, we've got 2 of them. First, it's Alexander on Twitter at Swordfish Show. You can also head on over to purpleswordfish.com, where it will link you directly to his YouTube channel. He puts up Let's Plays for Madden and tons of indie games out there.
And our other shout out goes to Lourdes and Katie.
Thank you so much to the three of you this week for backing us on Patreon. If you also want your monthly shout out, head on over to patreon.com/thereasonsimbroke. For as little as $1 a month, that equals out to $0.25 per episode. You too can get your shout out as we work towards reaching goal number 3. That would give the website a full rehaul, all new shirt designs, and an all new look.
But of course, our podcast will always be free. The best thing you guys can do for us is leave us a comment, a review, tell other people about us, get the word out there about how awesome this show is and how it's pronounced Roz.
We also want to thank decalavenue.com for the help at the $5 Patreon tier.
And with that, Brokettes, we can move into our comic book highlight this week. As we said in the beginning, we will be covering Trinity #1.
This has writing and art by Francis Manapul. The man's doing it all.
Beautiful book, beautifully written. I don't think there was anything about this that I didn't enjoy.
It always makes me very nervous when an artist does all the work. Like, I'm going to write it as well, and I'm going to do the art. I'm like, oh no, this is not going to turn out well, kind of like Skyborn. That little bit happened. And instead, this ended up being fucking awesome. It is now one of my favorite DC Rebirth books. That catapulted it. If every issue is like this #1, this is easily going to be in my top 5 of all the Rebirth titles. If you are into Wonder Woman, Superman, especially Superman, or Batman, you need to be buying Trinity. If you're not getting Superman, and you're doing yourself that injustice, and not picking up the Superman title, not Action Comics, but actual Superman, then at least pick up Trinity.
I'll tell you what I liked most about this book is it gave you more insight into Lois. It really made Lois a character that really stands out in this universe. Because, yes, we've seen her, but she was just kind of there. She was just kind of an offset of Superman. But now I'm like, oh shit, like, Lois is being a real wife. Like, she's doing wife shit. Like, not telling him she's doing stuff and then doing stuff. Good for her.
More interesting, too, was seeing that interaction between Wonder Woman and Lois, because this is the pre-New 52 Superman that is now existing in this world, and Wonder Woman fell in love with New 52 Superman. So it's more like an assurance there between women of like, no, this isn't the man I fell in love with. Quit looking at me that way. But it's still kind of weird because it's still sort of the same person, but just from a different Earth or a different time period. So, I mean, all of that is in there. The artwork is gorgeous. It's beautiful to look at. It is super light. Much like Superman, so anyone that says, oh, these comics are too dark, not anymore. Please be reading Rebirth, and especially Trinity. It's $2.99, comes out once a month, so it's not one of the twice-a-month titles.
Fantastic book. I think we both highly, highly recommend it.
Absolutely.
And with that, guys, we will wrap up our podcast for the week.
Yeah, thanks again to all of you for tuning in this week. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at ReasonsI'mBroke and at Palpa
I've started using the Twitter again, guys. I have 2 posts in the last 2 days.
That's pretty good. That's up like 300% for your weekly.
I'm starting this new thing called #BadFanFiction.
Yeah, let them know what that is.
Okay, so I found out fanfiction.net has an app, right? So cool. So like I can easily read my fanfiction, except it super drains my battery, but whatevs. So then I realized, like, I was going through, like, all my favorite characters and the highest rated and and I've read them all. So I was like, let me go out on a limb and find something new. But of course you have to crack a few eggs before you can make an omelet. So I'm just finding just shitty fan fictions, clearly written by 15-year-olds who have no concept of drinking or making out. They don't know what that is. They don't know how it works. So I'm finding these lines that are very generic in fan fiction that are terrible. And I'm posting them up with #BadFanFiction because that's just, it's in every bad fanfic I've ever read too, and that's the best part of it.
There you go. You can go ahead and follow Palpa Kelly for some terrible fan fiction lines and what you cannot do if you're any kind of writer out there, or if you just want to laugh at some funny lines by some terrible work.
By 15-year-olds, and granted, they just didn't understand. When I was 15 reading these, I'm like, oh, I didn't know that you have to hold your breath when you make out. And somebody's like, no, you just breathe through your nose. And I'm like, oh. Sounds difficult, but okay.
So thank you so much for Brokettes for tuning in every single week, all of the support. We love interacting with you on Twitter and interacting with the episode as far as what's going on. And of course, the Batman Choose Your Own Adventure. We hope you're enjoying that. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Kelly.
We'll see you next week.